U.S. Department of Defense's Overseas Humanitarian Disaster and Civic Aid Program has donated a negative pressure isolation system to the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, also known as Ridge Hospital. The $1.5 million movable isolation facility will provide critical care support for up to 30 COVID-19 patients by ensuring infection patients are properly isolated and given the needed care in a climate-controlled area. U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Stephanie Sullivan, announced this during a donation of oxygen generation equipment to the government in support of the country's COVID-19 response. She said the temporary facility will be vital for the current management of COVID-19 cases and in the long term, the delivery of quality medical services. Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Emmanuel Sarfeño, expressed delight at the new development, saying it would augment the hospital's 16-bed COVID-19 isolation center. The equipment donation follows the recent donation of 1.2 million Moderna vaccines and oxygen generation systems to support the country's COVID-19 response. The Ministry of Roads and Highways has defended the amount involved in the Akwatia Motorway expansion project. This follows the signing of a deal worth $570 million to extend and improve Ghana's first ever motorway between the government of Ghana and Motor Angel on Sunday, September 12, 2021. The ranking member on Parliament's Road and Transport Committee, governs Kwame Abuja, is among those who have criticized the agreement and demanded its abrogation. According to him, the contract will serve the interest of some government officials rather than protecting the public purse. Mr. Abuja said the minority will be forced to call for a parliamentary probe into the contract if it is not cancelled. Akwatia Motorway stated that, quote, some people heard of the cost and think that we are just talking about the 19.5 kilometer, but I thought they would be a bit inquisitive to know the scope of work and the details of the project before they come out to speak, because a lot of people talk out of ignorance and without having their facts, you hear them on air just talking out of ignorance. The police have arrested popular preacher Reverend Isaac Owusu-Bempah and 3 others for allegedly issuing threats, brandishing weapons, and attacking police officers on Sunday. Viral videos captured the popular preacher in the company of others at what is believed to be the residence of fetish priestess turned evangelist Nana Grada. The preacher in one of the videos approaches the camera and explains the reason for the visit. Meanwhile, the police have since issued a statement on the viral videos and how an attempt to arrest the preacher resulted in an attack on the police officers. The Ministry of Fisheries and Agricultural Development says it has initiated processes to digitize the supply of premixed fuel to fishermen. Vice President Dr. Mahmoudi Bamia in 2019, during a petroleum conference, announced plans by the government to digitize the supply of premixed fuel to end the frequent tussle over its distribution. Taking her turn at the weekly minister's press briefing in Accra, Sector Minister Mavis Hawa Kumsin said fishermen will henceforth be required to present their canoe identification cards to access the commodity. She further added that her ministry has been able to supply over 52 million liters of premixed fuel between January and June 2021. But Member of Parliament for Odododio constituency, Nilante Vanderpoye, has said the digitization of premixed fuel distribution will not address issues of corruption associated with it. He argued that individuals who input digital figures in the process of distribution could still perpetrate corruption. The Ghana Revenue Authority has hinted that it will soon commence a vigorous night operation to register and collect taxes from traders who work mainly at night. The move, according to the GRA, is targeted at shoring up revenue collection from the informal sector economy, which constitute 90% of the country's workforce. The exercise will be conducted in collaboration with the Ghana Union of Traders Association, the police, and personnel from the GRA. According to the GRA, the decision to embark on the night operations was considered after conducting research that showed a large number of income earners who operate at night do not pay taxes. Chika Omolumo, Chief Revenue Officer with the GRA, stated that the authority has already embarked on a number of sensitization exercises to educate night traders in their civil responsibility. Even though most night traders are captured by the GRA as informal operators, Ms. Omolumo, however, stated that there is a huge number whose operations can be captured as formal due to methods of operations. The government has taken steps to acquire 4 patrol boats that will be deployed in the 4 coastal regions. Information Minister Kojo Pong Nkrumah has said. He said these boats will aid in frequent inspections at sea. He also said the government is also acquiring a research vessel for regular conduction of scientific fisheries research. These, among several others, are the steps being taken by Madam Hawa Kumsin to ensure that Ghana's fishery ecosystem is kept alive and productive. Government is also taking steps to acquire 4 patrol boats that will be deployed in the 4 coastal regions to aid in frequent inspections at sea, as well as a research vessel for regular conduction of scientific fisheries research, the Ofuase Oyibi lawmakers said. North Korea has tested a new long-range cruise missile capable of hitting much of Japan, state media said on Monday. The weekend test saw missiles traveling up to 8,500 kilometers, equivalent of 930 miles, the official KCNA news agency said. It suggested North Korea is still capable of developing weapons despite food shortages and economic crisis. The U.S. military said the latest test posed threats to the international community. A neighboring Japan said it had, quote, significant concerns. A picture in the North Korean Rodong Singmi newspaper showed a missile being fired from a launch vehicle, while another could be seen in a horizontal flight. The missiles are, quote, a strategic weapon of great significance, the KCNA agency said It added that the tests were carried out on Saturday and Sunday, with the missiles hitting their targets before falling into North Korea's territorial waters. The South African president has announced the easing of some restrictions that have been in place to curb the spread of coronavirus. In a televised address, Cyril Ramaphosa said, due to a decline in infections, an overnight curfew will be shortened, alcohol restrictions will be eased, and larger gatherings allowed. He said the supply of vaccines was no longer a constraint and called on people to play their part in stopping the spread of the virus by coming forward to get jabbed. He added that the authorities were looking for ways to introduce, quote, vaccine passports, which can be used as evidence of vaccination for various purposes, raising fears that vaccines would be compulsory. About 1 in 5 adults in South Africa has been fully vaccinated, a far higher rate than elsewhere in Africa. It is the worst hit country on the continent, with close to 85,000 deaths from COVID-19. About 3% of Africa's population has been vaccinated. Human rights group Amnesty International says attacks by Islamist militants in western Niger have worsened significantly since the start of the year, with children increasingly targeted. A report by the group says the conflict in the Tumblr region, which borders Mali and Burkina Faso, is having a devastating impact. More than 500 civilians died between 1st January and 29 July this year from conflicts in the region, exceeding the 397 people killed in 2020, the report says. Over 60 children have been killed by armed groups in the tri-border area, it adds. One jihadist group linked to Al-Qaeda, JNIM, has intensified its efforts to recruit boys to its ranks, according to Amnesty. The group lures young men and boys aged between 15 and 17 or younger by using, quote, incentives such as food, money, and clothes. Hundreds of schools in the Tumblr region have been closed as a result of the violence. The report accuses Niger's security forces of not only failing to protect civilians, but also themselves committing abuses. Kevin Prince Watson has criticized his half-brother Jerome after the defender was found guilty of assaulting his former partner. The center-back, who joined Lyon this summer after leaving Bayern Munich, was ordered to pay a €1.8 million fine after being convicted on Thursday. Watson avoided a possible prison term for the incident, which took place in 2018. But the prosecution has said they will consider appealing the judge's ruling, as they hoped for a suspended sentence instead of a mere fine. Kevin Prince says his relationship with Jerome, who has the same father but a different mother, broke down well before the latter's conviction. Kevin Prince Watson stated, quote, I've distanced myself from Jerome for a long time, the Hertha Berlin player said to Bild. I value and respect German law. I abhor violence against women, and I don't identify with my brother's actions, and that is why I no longer have anything to do with him. The Black Princesses have advanced to the third stage of the African U20 Women's World Cup qualification, following Mauritania's withdrawal from the qualifiers. Ghana's U20 women's team was scheduled to take Mauritania in the second stage of qualification match on September 25th, with the return leg set for October 9th. CAF has, however, informed that it has received a correspondence from the Mauritania FA announcing their decision to withdraw from the FIFA WWC 2022 qualification stage. Quote, "We regret to inform you that we have just received from Mauritania FA a correspondence informing us of their withdrawal from the FIFA U20 WWC 2022, CAF stated in a letter sent to GFA on Saturday. Quote, "Consequently, matches 23 and 24 are cancelled, as well as the missions of all designated officials. On the other hand, kindly note that Ghana is automatically qualified for the next round of the competition." Rapper Manifest has added his voice to the ongoing brouhaha over the collection of royalties from the Ghana Music Rights Organization. According to the God MC hitmaker, he has not received any money from the organization. Manifest, who is about to release an album this year, emphasized that the situation at Gumrow is a system issue. He said if those in charge do not fix it now, it will worry many upcoming musicians. When asked if he is registered with the organization, he said that he did not have to register to earn money from his own creative works. He said he has been receiving royalties from other international rights organizations even as an unregistered musician, so that should not be a problem. This comes in the wake of Stonebwoy's rants over the 2,000 Ghana cedis he has received from Gumrow as royalties in his entire career as a musician. The road to crowning the 2021 Miss Health Ghana Queen has begun with the unveiling of 10 beautiful health practitioners to battle for the ultimate crown. The contestants will compete for the ultimate prizes, including a crown and a brand new car. This year's edition, themed First Aid for All, Every Citizen a First Aider, would witness the contestants showcase their knowledge on how to sensitize the masses on how to offer first aid, among other tasks including runway pawns and fashion shows. Madam Gladys Autry-Roxon, the Chief Executive Officer of Lamrock Agency, organizers of the pageant, said the platform was geared towards empowering young, beautiful Ghanaian ladies to spearhead the agenda of safeguarding lives in various health initiatives. She added that this year's edition focuses on how to administer first aid help to save lives in emergency situations.